My name is Sarah Miller, and I'm 55 years old. I've spent the last 25 years working at a financial consulting firm in Los Angeles. This company has been my second home, and I've dedicated my life to serving our clients. Over the years, I've built strong relationships with 35 clients, offering them personalized financial strategies. But recently, everything changed. A new president took over the company after the former president, a man who knew and appreciated my work, fell ill. This new leader, however, didn't take the time to understand the internal dynamics or the value I brought to the team. Instead, he listened to Jack and Lisa, two colleagues who had their own agenda. Jack, who is 45, became the head of the finance department about 4 months ago. Since his promotion, he changed drastically. He used to be polite and respectful, but now his tone is filled with condescension and complaints. Lisa, his 32-year-old assistant, seemed to follow his lead. They both targeted me, accusing me of exploiting overtime and dragging down the department's performance. It all started subtly. Jack would leave a pile of client files on my desk at the end of the day, with impossible deadlines. Lisa would make snide remarks about my efficiency, always within earshot of others. They were relentless, and it was clear they wanted me gone. They believed cutting labor costs and eliminating overtime pay were essential, and they saw me as an obstacle. One particularly grueling evening, after Jack had left yet another month's worth of client files on my desk, I confronted him. "Jack, these files have deadlines this month. How am I supposed to manage all this alone?" He shrugged, not even bothering to look up from packing his things. "Figure it out, Sarah. It's your job. I'm heading out." Lisa, who had been eavesdropping, laughed as she followed him out. "Good luck, Sarah," she said mockingly. The weight of the files in front of me was nothing compared to the weight of their constant harassment. Despite the challenges, I continued to manage my duties. I couldn't afford to show weakness. My clients depended on me, and I had always taken pride in my ability to deliver exceptional service. But the stress was taking its toll. Jack and Lisa's criticisms became more frequent, and their accusations of me inflating overtime hours grew louder. The breaking point came when the new president called me into his office. Jack and Lisa were already there, wearing smug expressions. The president looked at me with a mix of confusion and frustration. "Sarah, I've been informed that your overtime hours are significantly higher than anyone else's in the department. While others have around 16 hours, you've exceeded 82. Can you explain this?" I took a deep breath, feeling the sting of betrayal. "Mr. President, the overtime is because I've been handling not only my workload but also the additional tasks Jack and Lisa have been offloading onto me. I've always worked hard to meet our clients' needs, but this recent increase is due to their actions, not mine." Jack interrupted, shaking his head. "That's not true. You're the one exploiting the system, Sarah. We all work hard, but you seem to think you deserve special treatment." Lisa nodded in agreement. "Exactly. Your constant overtime is dragging down our performance." The president sighed deeply. "I understand your concerns, Sarah, but without concrete evidence, I can't justify this level of overtime. We need to cut costs, and this is becoming a significant issue. I'm afraid I have to ask for your resignation." My heart sank. After 25 years of dedication, it had come to this. I could see Jack and Lisa's satisfaction as the president delivered his decision. "Fine," I said quietly. "I'll resign by the end of the month." As I left the office, Lisa couldn't resist a parting shot. "Thanks for quitting, Sarah," she sneered. I maintained a silent, steady gaze, not giving her the satisfaction of a reaction. This company had been my life, and their betrayal cut deep. But I wasn't going to let them see me crumble. I would leave with my head held high, and they would soon realize the consequences of their actions. The days following my resignation were some of the hardest of my life. Leaving a place I had devoted 25 years to was a painful process. I spent my last days at the company tying up loose ends, creating detailed handover documents for all my 35 clients, and scheduling farewells. Many of my clients were shocked to hear of my departure, and it broke my heart to see their disappointment. Some expressed concerns about the future of their financial strategies without me. As I packed up my office on the final day, Jack and Lisa seemed unusually cheerful. Their plan had worked. They had pushed me out to cut costs and eliminate my supposed overtime exploitation. However, their celebration was premature. A week after my resignation, I finally had a moment to relax at home. I thought I had left the chaos behind, but my phone started ringing incessantly. When I saw the company's number on the screen, I hesitated. After a few moments, I reluctantly answered. "Hello, this is Sarah," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "Sarah, this is the president. We need you to come back to the office immediately," he said, his voice strained with panic. I couldn't help but feel a bit of satisfaction. "I'm sorry, but I've already completed my resignation process," I replied calmly. "Please, Sarah. We're facing a crisis. Our clients are halting their transactions, and we don't know how to handle it. They're asking for you," he pleaded. Despite my desire to leave the company behind, I felt a sense of responsibility towards my clients. I agreed to go back, at least to see what was happening. When I arrived at the office, the atmosphere was chaotic. The once orderly environment was now filled with frantic employees and ringing phones. Jack and Lisa were waiting for me in the lobby, their faces pale and haggard. It was a stark contrast to their usual smug expressions. "What's going on?" I asked, genuinely curious. Jack glared at me, frustration evident in his eyes. "Since you left, we've been bombarded with calls to stop transactions. Not just from your clients, but from prospective companies we were planning to introduce," he said, his voice shaking. Lisa, looking equally distressed, added, "We've tried everything, but they insist on speaking with you. What did you do?" I shook my head, confused. "I haven't done anything, but I can guess why this is happening." I could see the fear in their eyes, but I wasn't going to give them the satisfaction of an explanation just yet. "Take me to the president." In the president's office, the tension was palpable. Jack and Lisa followed me in, their accusatory glares still fixed on me. The president looked up, relief washing over his face when he saw me. "Sarah, thank you for coming. Can you explain what's going on?" he asked. I took a deep breath. Our clients don't need us to manage their finances. There are plenty of firms that offer cheaper services. They stayed with us because of the personalized strategies I provided. They valued the relationship we built over the years. Jack scoffed. "That's nonsense. We have a manual for a reason. It's efficient and practical." I looked at him, my patience wearing thin. "It might be efficient for you, but our clients valued the tailored approach I provided. That's why they're leaving. They trusted me." The president sighed deeply, understanding dawning on his face. "Jack, Lisa, I've received numerous complaints about your conduct. It seems you've been offloading your work onto subordinates, inflating expense claims, and engaging in an inappropriate relationship." Jack and Lisa's faces turned white. "That's not true," Lisa protested. "We've been working hard to improve the department." The president shook his head. "The evidence says otherwise. I have no choice but to terminate your employment, effective immediately." Their desperate pleas fell on deaf ears. As they were escorted out, I couldn't help but feel a sense of justice. They had pushed me out, thinking they were saving the company, but their actions had brought it to the brink of disaster. After the chaos settled, the president turned to me. "Sarah, I made a mistake in letting you go. The company needs you. Would you consider coming back?" I hesitated. The betrayal I had felt was still fresh, but I also felt a sense of duty towards the clients who had supported me. "I need some time to think about it," I replied. As I left the office, I knew that my decision would not be easy. Returning meant facing the same environment that had caused me so much pain, but it also meant continuing to help the clients I cared about. I would have to weigh my options carefully, and whatever decision I made would shape the next chapter of my life. Returning home after that chaotic day, I couldn't shake off the president's plea for me to come back. I spent the night pondering my options. The betrayal I felt from Jack and Lisa still stung, but I also felt a deep sense of responsibility towards my clients. They had shown loyalty to me, and I didn't want to let them down. The next morning, after a restless night, I decided to meet with a few of my closest clients to hear their thoughts. I called up Mr. Anderson, one of my longest-standing clients, and arranged a meeting at a nearby cafe. When I arrived, Mr. Anderson greeted me warmly. "Sarah, it's good to see you. I've been worried about the company since you left. What happened?" I took a deep breath and explained the situation, from the harassment by Jack and Lisa to the president asking for my resignation. Mr. Anderson listened intently, his expression growing serious. "Sarah, you've always been the backbone of our financial planning. Without you, the company has lost its personal touch. That's why many of us decided to halt our transactions. We trusted you, not the company." His words hit me hard. It wasn't just about the job, it was about the relationships I had built over the years. "Thank you, Mr. Anderson. Your support means a lot to me," I said, feeling a mix of gratitude and determination. After speaking with a few more clients who echoed Mr. Anderson's sentiments, I realized that my decision had to be about more than just returning to the same toxic environment. I needed to ensure that the company understood the value of personalized service and that the toxic behavior of people like Jack and Lisa wouldn't be tolerated again. I went back to the president's office the next day, feeling more resolute. He looked relieved to see me. "Sarah, have you made a decision?" "Yes," I said firmly. "But there need to be some changes. First, I want assurances that the toxic behavior that drove me out won't be allowed to continue. Second, we need to shift our focus back to personalized client service. That's what sets us apart, and that's why our clients stay with us." The president nodded, listening carefully. "I understand, Sarah. I admit that I made a mistake by listening to Jack and Lisa without understanding the full picture. I'll make sure that we address these issues. We need you back." With his assurance, I agreed to return, but under the condition that we would work together to rebuild the company's reputation and reinforce a culture of respect and dedication. Upon my return, I was greeted with a mixture of relief and apprehension from my colleagues. They had seen the chaos that ensued after my departure and realized the impact I had on the company. The president held a meeting, addressing the entire staff about the changes that were going to be implemented, emphasizing the importance of respect, dedication, and personalized client service. As I settled back into my role, I noticed a significant shift in the office atmosphere. The toxic tension that had been prevalent during Jack and Lisa's time was replaced with a renewed sense of teamwork and purpose. People were more supportive, and there was a collective effort to restore the company's standing with our clients. However, rebuilding trust with the clients was not an overnight task. I spent countless hours meeting with them, assuring them that the personalized service they valued would continue. Many were relieved to see me back and appreciated the efforts the company was making to address past issues. It was a challenging period, but their support and trust made it worthwhile. One evening, as I was wrapping up a long day, the president walked into my office. "Sarah, I wanted to thank you personally. The changes you've implemented have made a significant difference. Our clients are starting to trust us again, and the staff morale is improving." I smiled, feeling a sense of accomplishment. "Thank you. It wasn't easy, but I'm glad to see things getting better." As I looked around my office, I realized how much had changed since that first day when I announced my resignation. The journey had been difficult, but it had also been a testament to the value of resilience and dedication. The company was on a path to recovery, and I was proud to be a part of it. But I knew the story wasn't over yet. There were still challenges ahead, and the true test would be maintaining the positive changes in the long run. For now, though, I felt a sense of fulfillment and anticipation for what the future held. As the weeks turned into months, the company gradually stabilized. Our clients began to return, reassured by the changes we had implemented. The atmosphere in the office continued to improve, and there was a genuine sense of camaraderie among the staff. The president kept his promise, ensuring that the toxic behaviors of the past would not be repeated. It seemed like we were on the right track. Despite the positive changes, I felt a lingering unease. The betrayal I had experienced had left a deep scar, and I couldn't shake the feeling that my time at the company was drawing to a natural close. My dedication to my clients had never wavered, but my passion for the job had been irrevocably altered. One afternoon, while reviewing some client files, I received a call from an old friend, Rachel, who owned a small financial consultancy firm. We hadn't spoken in years, but she had heard about the turmoil at my company and wanted to catch up. During our conversation, she mentioned needing help with a growing client base and suggested I join her firm. The idea intrigued me. Rachel's firm was much smaller and more personal, and it seemed like an opportunity to continue doing what I loved without the burden of corporate politics. After our call, I spent the evening considering her offer. It felt like the perfect chance to start fresh and regain my passion for financial consulting. The next morning, I arranged a meeting with the president. As I sat down in his office, he looked at me with a mix of curiosity and concern. "Sarah, what's on your mind?" I took a deep breath. I've been thinking about my future here. While I appreciate the changes we've made and the support I've received, I believe it's time for me to move on. I've received an offer to join a friend's consultancy firm, and I think it's the right step for me. The president seemed surprised but nodded understandingly. "I can't say I'm not disappointed, but I understand your decision. You've been invaluable to us, and I'm grateful for everything you've done." We discussed my transition plan to ensure a smooth handover of my responsibilities. The president assured me that they would continue to uphold the values and changes we had implemented. I felt a sense of relief and excitement about this new chapter in my life. During my final days at the company, I made sure to meet with each of my clients, explaining my decision and introducing them to their new consultants. Many of them were sad to see me go but understood and supported my choice. I left knowing they were in good hands. On my last day, the office held a small farewell party. As I looked around at my colleagues and friends, I felt a mixture of nostalgia and anticipation. This place had been my home for 25 years, and leaving wasn't easy. But I knew it was the right decision. Rachel welcomed me warmly into her firm, and I quickly settled into the new environment. The work was fulfilling, and I appreciated the close-knit, supportive atmosphere. For the first time in years, I felt truly content and inspired. Looking back on my journey, I realized that the challenges I faced had only made me stronger. The betrayal and harassment had been painful, but they had also led me to a place where I could thrive. I found satisfaction in knowing that I had stood up against unfair treatment and emerged resilient. As I moved forward in my new role, I remained dedicated to providing personalized, high-quality service to my clients. The experience had taught me the value of integrity, dedication, and the importance of finding fulfillment outside a toxic environment. My second life had just begun, and I eagerly anticipated the journey ahead.